Hi, Earthlings. Welcome back to Life Instructions. Today, in a very special edition with one of my favorite humans, Maria. Hi, أبطال الأمل أبطال حياة my life champs, my hope champs. I know you're used to content in Moroccan, but I know most of you speak 5 languages at least. And this is for everyone out there in the world. We thought of this podcast like literally a hug. You can grab something to drink, you can have your snacks, you can go on a walk, you can have us in your treadmill while cooking, whatever. It's supposed to feel like a really long voice note from your best friend because that's what we are. And we always had that safe space with each other. And to us, we met in Google. So we work together, we're in the same team. And we have our own podcast within Google that won a Jimmy Award thanks to this PR queen that I don't even know how to introduce her.
Thank you. And the winners, if I could move to them, Omaimo Bubia and Maria Zanova. And apologies if I've got your names wrong. Again, in the Global Business Sell-Side EMEA teams for launching and consistently maintaining the high-quality Humans of Sell-Side video series, successfully bridging geographical and organizational divides. Huge congratulations.
Like,
I sent an email. I didn't do much.
just for you to know what's happening when, how. That's her. Let's be honest, let's be frank. I think the reason why I also want to have this podcast is I feel like our podcast within Google, we wanted to make everyone feel like they belong. So we're all about belonging, being you for your true self, being authentic, being vulnerable. And the more vulnerable we are, the more we attract people that really are at the same frequency as we are. And I have to be honest, I didn't always have the most amazing friends. I feel like I had the transition from 0 to 100. Now I'm really surrounded by a powerful women that really want my business, that are there. Just an example. All of you know that I just put on the headscarf. And before I was texting with Maria and I'm like, I'm really worried that I'm going to lose my identity. I'm not going to be myself. And her not even sharing my religion. She's like, if anyone can pull the headscarf and be cool and be stylish, it's going to be you. And then she told me, even Zara is going to sell the headscarf. So you
Maybe it's sponsored, so Zara.
no, Zara, they need to check their values. But like, just to say that you have women supporters. Maria is an actress. She is a strategic partner manager within Google. She got promoted twice within she is a brain. I know she does play it. She was working at Vogue. She's the most creative, high energy person I've ever met. The most positive person.
Cool intro. I don't really want to say hello. I hope by the end of this first season, I'm gonna speak Moroccan.
She does. She has some words. What can you say that?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Baraka.
But
What else? Shisha.
Shisha. Shisha.
Thanks.
MashaAllah.
Mashallah.
MashaAllah.
Something else I need.
Baraka.
Baraka.
Yes.
Olima. Little
Little wonder. She basically is Moroccan.
Yeah. No, but deep inside I am, because the first time, the only time I went to Morocco, I really felt at home, especially with like the views, the dancing, I got the moves instantly. I was like, yeah, maybe in my past life, it's somewhere there. Yeah, but thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Because a few times I had a conversation that, I wish somebody recorded us, like when
Yeah.
we're just discussing. Like, it's always, I mean, maybe everybody thinks that, but our conversations are so deep.
Yeah.
It's so meaningful. It's so another level, and then people need to hear it.
Yes. Honestly, it always was like this. I remember when we were just sitting at this brunch place, Argentina's. And we didn't know each other that good back then. And like we were both new in a new country. We just started a new job. And the fact that we were both able to be so vulnerable and open up, it didn't matter. Like the reason why I open every podcast with Hi Earthlings is like, as long as you are an Earthling, there is a way that we can connect if you are open enough and deep enough. Because we put on so many masks in this world and we need more, especially in the social media and podcasting, all of that perfection out there. We need people who are like, you know what, we struggle as much as you do. And I've already had you on the podcast on God's plan because of your strength, your resilience, the fact that you come from a workplace and you have your family in a war zone and you go and you show up each day motivated me. I'm like, if Maria has a smile on her face, you better have a smile on your face. And starting so many courses and everything about you. So I think my audience, they know me already. And for the first podcast, just for them to know you in the sense of how on earth are you the way you are? How on earth? Your parents did a lot of things very well. But what do you think? Like, why are you so... Honestly, I am not biased, but everyone that knows you, like, you're so pure and open. And how did you hold into that in the 34 years that we've been in life?
I don't know what to say. Okay. But no, I think one of the things I kind of discovered about myself that was with me throughout life was just curiosity. I think I'm like just naturally very curious toward life. And I think when you're curious, it makes you open to like experiencing different viewpoints, to just different humans, and just to like meeting everyone from the place of like see like where it goes.
Yeah.
And I think also maybe like in some cases it brought to me not so joyous experiences, because I always approach everything, like every human, every situation from the place of like they're amazing, and then kind of sometimes it goes with the maybe I should not have like that, honest with the person, things like that. Still, I think it gets me further in life, and as opposed to approaches where you like closed and you're always expecting another person to turn out to be like bad,
Yeah.
and to hurt you something. And I think you're like in this case, people are protecting themselves and they're not living the life fully. So I think that's one of the qualities that like really help me survive. But overall, resilience, I believe in this kind of high vibe or high energy. I feel like we're the only ones who can put ourselves on a certain frequency and then start attracting people, experiences, occasions, like job opportunity, project, whatever, on the same level.
Yeah.
And so if you operate from the place, oh, I don't have enough, or I wish this was different, or for me, or this like mindset, I think this is not the way to be.
No.
And I mean, it's not to say that I'm never in that place, and especially with the war, it's like it was the easiest like mindset to kind of bring on. But then I thought, no, if people stay in my country, flying in for a country and experience way worse things that I am, just like living safely abroad, like what right do I have to just be, sad
Yeah.
and not living life?
Yeah.
So I think I'm in a happy place, and I try to approach life from the happy place. And maybe I'm a bit delusional this way.
We need some delusion to survive.
And then the acting part, I feel like I always just with this curiosity, I always was an actress, as in I lived multiple lives, because one period of my life I was, I don't know, like working with a fashion magazine, for instance. But then at another side, I'm like teaching in the university, and it's very like, strict and serious. Another time, like, let's do this fencing, the sports that I tried in Ireland, because like, why not? What if one day I would need this skill? And so I'm really open to living all these different experiences and like treating it as a role in a way. Like, give it all, you live through this chapter, this film, and then you either move on or you stay in the same season.
Yeah.
So
I think everyone can relate. I on there mainly in Morocco, but I know that many people from everywhere can relate with us and with this. When you come from a third world country and you don't have that many opportunities, the values that I want to bring is that it does not matter. I have this addition of shkun, nashkun, which means who are you? Even we are what we decide who we are. And there's also a saying Martin that says became shmamin, in the sense of became shmamin is, it's like no one is good enough to do something with, and I'm like, no, we are man, we are those people. You can decide. If you don't find an opportunity, be that person. If you don't find that person that want to help, then help. Just decide that you are gonna embody all these things that you want to see in other people. And I know you said sometimes, I know it's not the greatest thing when we give a lot of ourselves and we see the best in people and they are not raised to that occasion. But I read somewhere that the people that you give love to, that where you think they don't deserve it, they needed it most. So I feel like it's a better way to live and be like, oh, I'm the one who got fooled. I'd rather be taken advantage of than take advantage of someone. I like just know I saw your potential. I invested in you. I loved you unconditionally. You didn't raise to the occasion. Maybe it's not your time, but then it's gonna happen. Like the book that you gave me today, I'm reading a book of creativity, and it's like an idea. If you have it and you don't do it, someone else will do it, not because they stole your idea, but because it was time for this idea to arise. And I think it makes so much sense, because And a lot of times you would see someone doing something and you get jealous. And we tend to not want to have that shadow side of us. But for me, jealousy, I learned to use it as a metric of, oh, this is what I want.
Yes.
I am jealous of that. So let me go and get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for me, I think before the jealousy side, I would see something, and part of me was like, okay, this is probably what I want, but I wouldn't act on it. And then jealousy becomes, like, oh, why do they have this? But then if you turn this energy into, okay, so let me try to this, whatever, podcast, something, and see how it goes. And then, you channel it into creating something, and it doesn't like ruin you.
I think it's in all areas of this podcast. I know the audience mostly now is 70%, 30%, like 70% women. And the reason it is a self-development podcast. So I think we women, we want to work more on ourselves. We are more reflective. We are more aware. And we can't
Standards.
our standards are high and they should stay that way. But I really think I need this and I want this to be all about us women, about her, about being like comfortable. You know, you just talk differently when you know it's just a room of us women. We get each other. We talk cycle. We talk men. We talk struggle. We talk everything. Like having kids, not having kids. I see us talking about all these subjects, what society, what we're supposed to be, this beauty standard, or just random chats because we women we need it. I read yesterday that they were saying that our hormones get interrupted because we use fragments. And I'm like, no, you've been using fragments the past I don't know how many years, but exactly, it's like butter. So the problem we have now is that we lost that sense of community. Back then, women like you saw in Morocco will come together, we will dance, we will dress in Oriental stuff, just eat slow life. And I feel like that slow living, we lost so much of it because even you watch a series and you're like, how on earth do they have that much time to court someone having tea time or taking their time of doing everything? And we're like in this cancel mentality.
I started another project at work, and there is like a girl who's in charge of the operations basically on the team. And we were discussing how they used to have a team meeting agenda for some time, but then nobody updated. And we were discussing just how we have on our team this temperature check-in, green exercise. We discussed books recommendation, or music, or values and stuff. And she was like, yes, on my previous team, I also had majority of women. It was the best team.
Yes.
And
And that green exercise, I was the one who introduced it in our last meeting, who brought it with us. And to be honest, part of it was not a great experience that made that happen. Like, it's a beautiful thing that came out of it. But initially, we had done like this color insights, and I was the only one that was in the green and blue. Everyone else was like yellow and red. And there is something very humbling when you have a team of 9 and 8 of them are on this side of the wheel, and you're the only one who is on the introverted team. And I'm like, I know I'm an alien, but can I please feel like an earthling? Like, can I feel normal? And I had an amazing manager, and he said, what would make you feel more connected? I just cannot believe that humans would come together in a reunion at a meeting, start talking business. It does not feel natural to me. I want to know how your weekend was, how your day
like a
is.
bonding moment.
Yeah, you had space. It's like something. But and I think that helps me also know we're just with humans. Like, it's just human. It's like you and me. We all have the same struggles, and we all learn from each other. And sometimes even if you have a person that is like tapping on your nerves, you can at least understand their agenda of, oh, they're not in a good place, or they're struggling with something.
And then you know how to like approach them.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just really wanted to say to your audience, and hopefully I'll get a response. That I feel like my kind of the longing I feel towards Moroccan culture comes from the fact that I'm from Ukraine, and when I was young in the 90s, there used to be this super popular soap opera, which I recently Googled. It was Brazilian, and it was named Clone. And the story goes about this like Brazilian guy who comes to Morocco and falls in love with a Moroccan girl. So back then, I was like, okay, Morocco is the best country in the world. I need to go there. All the jewelry, all the henna, all the Brazilian dancing. But then this year, I watched it again on YouTube. I was like, this is so bad. This is full of stereotypes, horrible. But still, it gave me love towards the culture. I didn't know it all in a good way.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious if anybody saw that. Yeah, I'm just curious other people's opinions, because when I told you about this, you said you.
I don't know, but if anyone knows, it's called Clone. Clone. So if anyone, I mean, we're used to stereotypes and being put in boxes, as you know. They just want to mold you. But Honestly, even the clothes. I remember for my engagement, she gifted me like that Ukrainian outfit. I was like, this is Moroccan. The flowers and handmade, it could be Moroccan. And also when I see this to me, the cup is Ukrainian. Or when we went to the restaurants in London and the food, they literally have literally, how is it called? The one that's from Spanish in Europe? I don't know.
It was something delicious. I think the big one, it's called like Khachapuri could be, or it can be also a Tatar name because we have Crimean Tatars, lots of them in Ukraine, and it's like it's a specific fortnight of it.
No, but I'll take the picture so you see it's literally really filled with stuff and it was so delicious and so amazing. And I don't know, just the warmth, the quality of people. It's funny how you can find people from all over and you don't share the same necessarily any religion or background or history and you bond.
But then because like we're humans.
Yeah.
It's like
I think we overcomplicate it in the sense of course, like from a political view, it makes sense for them to just make us feel like you are so different. But then we are so not. We really are created from the same world, the same soul. And any thinking or philosopher, spirituality, they would say the same thing. And you're yoga class, we are one. If you're really aligned with your higher self, we would say in Islam, for example, we're all sisters and brothers. Like how beautiful it is to think of everyone like sister and brother, because then you would go through life exactly the way you go and trying to help and add and give because you would never want to hurt or harm your brother or sister. I feel like you live by values. Last time we were talking about baraka, and I was just explaining to Maria a little bit how, what baraka is, and she looks at me and goes, well, my entire life is baraka. And I'm like, I know.
my favorite concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're aligned with yourself and the universe, like things just happen. Like everything just falls in naturally. It's beautiful. I mean, it's magic.
It is magic. It's like, what is your connect? Like, is it almost 4 years that we're really close? But you know my religion. I never asked you about yours, but I know that everything that you live, your values, they represent everything I believe in. So I just look at you and I'm like, this girl cannot harm a fly. She is helpful. She is reliable. She is loyal. She is trustworthy. I mean, this is it. Like for me, this is what it's all about because our miracle in Islam is our Prophet used to have the best values, the best akhlaq. So we have something more realistic to strive to. You know, probably cannot walk on water. We cannot have miracles, but let's always strive and be better. And it's so beautiful when the more I get to know the divine, the more so merciful. But people cancel us. Like people are so much harder on themselves and on each other in the sense of you would have an argument with someone. How can you say that when you pray, or how can you say that when you are put in a headscarf? As of in Islam, make a fault, you repent. You make a fault, you repent. And there is the same hadith that says Allah will never get bored until you get bored. Like, he will forgive you, keep forgiving you, keep forgiving you until there is no limits. With humans, you're like, I'm not giving a second chance, or like there or that attitude. But I want to know, what do you believe in? What keeps you there?
That's a very interesting question. It's like officially, I can say so. I'm Orthodox Christian because it's a dominant religion in Ukraine. But like I have interesting relationship with religion, as I feel like many of people my age have in my country. Because historically, Ukraine was for many, many years under communist rule, Soviet rule. In Soviet times, they denied all religion apart from communism. So I don't think the tradition of even going to church, praying, or doing anything like that was preserved. You would still do it, like my grandmother would do it, but you would hide at home, pray to yourself, never show, anything, never celebrate religion holidays because you would be persecuted for that. So for a long time, it was banned. So I remember growing up, we would only go to church for like Easter or maybe Christmas or like really big holidays. And it was more a celebratory tradition because everybody does it. And it had nothing to do with God or beliefs, or you just go, you like bring food and then you eat a lot and you're happy. And for me, religion was a holiday once a year. But then growing up, I started to learn more about different religions. And then I also realized that actually in Ukraine, there are lots of other religions and many like diverse people. And then I studied in Glasgow for a few years doing my master's. And this is when I encountered other people from India, from all over the world, from China, like completely different like religion. And then I got curious and I realized that I cannot yet identify myself thinker somewhere because every time people talk to me about religion, I only see similarities between them. I can't say how they're different. I feel like there's a universal like truth in a way, universal values, and even what you said about forgiveness and second chances, just not giving up hope even in worst situations. So I feel like now I'm still finding my way like to really describe what is it I believe in, but like I do pray to God. Yeah, like I write like in my like a gratitude journal, like prayer.
Yeah.
But it's like it's my own thing. Like I read Bible obviously, and I was the part where at some point it was very popular that like American churches would send their like missionaries to Ukraine. They would run Sunday schools and then they would teach English there. So it was a nice way to learn English free, but then you have to attend this like Bible readings. But it wasn't even in a church; it was at home with someone. So it was an interesting way to propagate religion. But for me, again, it was like I'm just learning English. I'm just learning all this like terms. So it was weird, like my whole with religion. Right now, I'm finding these common things that I align with like different cultures, different religions, and like with the war. I started to believe more in like that there is something out there because the stories you hear or witness yourself, it's something like no, like there must be some force, like it cannot just happen on its own.
Yeah.
And I'm becoming like more religious in a way that I feel more supported by a universe, God, something. Yeah, I'm just not there yet. As in terms, I have like my friends like at home who are very like they go to church all the time. They really like know everything. I'm more like I don't know. I'm still finding.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful what you said that it's you see what they have in common. For me, also like the fact of thinking there is one great, like we believe in all prophets. It means like Christianity, everything before we can believe in it. Us thinking there is of course one creator, one God. So this also makes us all believe in one thing. And even to that, especially, I know that their way of praying also, if they go on their knees, it's very similar to the Islamic way of praying. Even me, I didn't grow up with parents would be like, read the Quran, do this, like not at all. And my dad was like in a French school, completely in his world. My mom prayed, but then never like really said you have to or whatever. So when I was 19, I was living in Germany. I tried to learn about all seven religions, right? Read more about them. What I love about Islam is that it allows you to question, and I had a lot of questions. And you know me, I cannot take anything like that. So I had a lot of questions like the Bible. Okay, oh, this makes sense. Like, how can God have a son? No, okay, it doesn't resonate. This doesn't like in my head, and this is
like my name is Maria, and Maria gave birth.
We believe in that miracle in Islam, but more in the sense of that God put that soul into her, and that it wasn't his son. And then even that there is in the Testament, even in Christianity, where Jesus said, "I am not God." So I would read into all the scientific groups. So I was more in the journey of make it make sense. 1400 years ago, what was impossible to be known, and then I will read about all the facts, how the embryo was formed, how it's described in Quran, like how the stars were created, the things that were just created a couple of years ago that would have been impossible for a man in the desert who didn't know to read. But it made sense at my brain level. Okay, I know there is a bigger thing. I did not actually, if I'm honest, feel it until last. I was practicing faith and I was praying and I was fasting. I felt like it was transaction relationship with God. It was like, God, I'm not feeling good, help me. God, I want this thing given to me. God, why is this bad thing happening? I'm mad now. I lost someone. Now I'm angry. Now I stop praying. Like, it was really toxic. I read somewhere that we take even our attachment style, relationships, even with God. Like you are anxious or you ask for something and you're not sure that you're gonna get it. You keep making this thing dua, like for us it's dua or like wish, which in Islam, it's like once you say it, it's already done because that version of you already exists. But God will not change anything about your life until you change yourself, which I think is a beautiful verse because that is what everything with psychology and energy are saying. And I have a lot of respect for people who go and do da'wah. Da'wah is like invitation for people to come and embrace your religion or learn more about it. But I feel like you need to feel it with all your senses. For me, if it wasn't for me going to Mecca, and being 100% sure I will not be able to be under all these people and doing that. My DNA, my body composition, my human design does not allow me to be
like I'm scared of this because there's so many people.
Yeah.
Like the moment we're like, okay, I'm ready for it. Like I don't know how
I
it
did
happened.
not feel ready. Like everything that I always say here, do it perfect, do it messy, do it scared, do it anyways. I wasn't ready, but I knew I needed it. I was in a really bad place in my life, and I've had a lot of. I couldn't forgive myself, and I needed that higher power to be like, I forgive you. You can start new. You can just a refresh, and I feel like it was such a reinvention of. I was there, and I was panicking first time because we went directly from the airport there, and it was very overwhelming, and I didn't sleep for 24 hours. So I was like, let me go sleep, go have chocolate and a coffee, and come try again. And that's what I did. And then also the reason why I started selling this because you said you don't need to go to the church. And it's beautiful for us even community women don't need to go to the mosque. Men need to go to the mosque, but women don't.
Mhm.
And I love that accessibility that we can talk to God whenever we say you can have God talk to you by reading the Quran and you can talk to him whenever you talk to him 5 times. There is a time that is philosophy. He says Muslims, I respect them because they know how our brain works. You need to remind yourself 5 times a day of your intentions. And now the media diabolized the religion, but if you have someone saying, I drive fast because I'm healthy, or I make Ramadan, they're like, nothing make Ramadan. Oh, you drive fast, or I pray 5 times a day. Isn't it a loss? Or I meditate.
Yeah, it's just for me, it's a meditation. I know
Yeah.
we have a meditation room in Google and like you can use it to go pray.
Yeah.
But like for me, I recently started meditating and now I only started and I only do once a day, 20 minutes. But now for me, it makes more sense to do it more often, say 5 or 3 or whatever times a day. 5 minutes, just to kind of, reset of your brain.
Yeah.
Don't think all those thoughts, just calm down.
Actually, she's a hidden Muslim. She doesn't know yet.
Like, this thing makes sense to me.
Yeah, but it was even now proven that this kind of meditation makes more sense. And now I am living for this. That's it. Back then, we didn't have any proof that it's healthy. So I had people tell me every year, Germany, 12 years, not even water. And I'm like, trust me, water is the least of your problems. If I take you, tell you to not eat 16 hours, you're gonna be having other issues. But just the accessibility when I was doing this tawaf that we call it around the Kaaba in Mecca, I felt something that I could not describe. Like it just out of it. And I still cannot. I am living life. I'm just missing it. I'm just missing that dimension, time, how slow it went. Even in Saudi Arabia, I know there is a lot happening in the world. The media, everyone is angry at everyone, and every country has something bad to talk about. But for me, seeing the women all in crowds and eating ice cream and having rose water sprayed on them, and that sense of community, it's like they live in a parallel life. And I need to be traveling back in time way more often. And you can feel that it's different for many people. It can be going to retreats. A lot of our friends also would say, I was 10 days in India and I felt that kind of. So it's all about going back to yourself and reminding yourself who you want to be like consistent.
Yeah. But somehow also, I feel like this idea, like something bigger than us exists for me. The first religions, they were basically people believing in multiple forces, the god of sun, of water, of wind, because they just felt there was always something more powerful. And there's this Irish acting coach that I follow a lot on social media, and I really want to do training with her.
Yeah.
And she's always saying that when you are overwhelmed as an actor, and whenever I'm listening to all this advice about acting, I just take it like lightly. So whenever you're overwhelmed, you just have to come back to something to know that there's something bigger than you. So go sit, watch an ocean, or go to the forest, or go to mountains. You really need physical objects that are bigger than you, that are like so massive. So I think it's a way to come back to yourself. It's either by like going physically to a place that is much bigger than you, it's a natural place, or like through religion, because it's also the way to connect. Just this tiny thing. Yeah, the problem I think is consuming my whole life. Yeah. It's nothing in the scale of the universe. It's just inhale, exhale, it goes away.
Yeah, and I love that you said connects because salat, prayer, needs an Arabic connection. Salat. For me, even the decision of that jealousy thing. I watched a girl that was a river and she was putting on hijab and she was 23 years old and gorgeous because you see her pictures before, She has like 10 times the amount of my hair. She has my 6-pack. And she gave all that up for Allah. And I'm like, why don't I have that kind of...
She didn't give it up. she still has it.
Exactly.
Because for me, it's like being exercising. I started a new program now where I'm counting calories, doing my proteins, like steps, and I don't want to like, how to say, jinx it.
Jinx it, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like only 2 weeks in and 16 more. But I'm like, it's the first time where I know I'm gonna succeed because I'm doing it for me, not to post a picture like before, after, or not to like brag. I know I'm doing this because I'm feeling better and like nobody will take it away. So I feel like, yeah, like she still has her hair, she
Yeah.
still has all of that.
Yeah.
It's just like it's for her.
Yeah. Now, literally, my level of consciousness is that. But back then, it was like, I'm gonna give this up, And then when I realized how attached I am to it, then I was like, I need to detach. Like, how can this have this much power over me? It's just the hair. I don't care. If I care about that connection with my creator, then I'm not living true to my values. And I think it's the same thing with everything where you just keep going. Like you said, even the book you gave me, there was today a saying, they said, the ocean is the biggest reflection of us. That's why we love staring at it so much. It's so beautiful because it's better than a mirror. And now I understand why, for me, it's the most calming thing on earth. And some telling, even if you are observing and just seeing nature how it is, it's a form of worship. If you just see a butterfly and you're like, oh, mashallah, or a bird, or be in the moment, be present. And there are also hadith sayings that would say there is nothing more stupid than refusing the present moment. There are so many parallels.
It's because like and a mantra that every coach does these days. Be here and now, be present. Like really just the most like old universal truths that's existed for ages.
But nobody is reinventing the wheel. And that's what we say. My podcast with my brother, it goes every Friday. Friday is a really important day for us. We have Dhikr in the Dhikr Tafagulin, and the sense to remind people, reminders help the believers. You need to people in your life also to remind you of who you are. Because
gym body.
Yes.
Because on Wednesday, 7 a.m., we go to this class only because I like this. Otherwise, I would go.
But I only know this class exists because of her. She would be like, there's this art class. We're like, okay, we're going to go tomorrow, inshallah. And then it was 6:30, and then she's texting me from the other room because it's raining, it's dark, it's windy. No one wanted to do that. And I'm like, I had already woken up for Fajr. I did my attack, and I'm like, we need to honor the promises we make to ourselves because that is the only way to show up. So I feel like this is what this podcast is about. When you have a hard time and you're like, girl, remind yourself who you are. You're this and this and this, and you're like, thank you, I need this. Or when I have also put in my hand in the sand, and you're like, hello. I remember when we were in Athens, and you told me, of course you're disciplined. But for me, I was like, no, I'm not disciplined. And that's that.
You are the epitome of the discipline because I have you. I'm eating healthy. Honestly, because even when I wanted to give up on exercising, you literally made me go. And I'm really so thankful because this is something I was missing. For me, I can be disciplined to for 2 weeks or whatever. Then I get bored, and then I really need someone to push me back on track. Otherwise, I'm like, no, now I have to do this new thing now, or I just need that cycle.
And it's that innovative, creative part that you have that is so beautiful. And also, for me, I think my entire discipline comes from fasting Ramadan. Doing 5 daily prayers. When I tell our youth to do prayers, it's not like you feel like it every single time. God gives us the reward even when you don't feel like it. But then what more can train your mind as you telling it, drop everything you're doing right now and go do that. And 5 times a day. Wake up in the middle of the night, break your sleep, and go and wash yourself with cold water and pray. Like, for me, that's the
needs courage.
And then you always feel amazing after it. It's like a workout. And sometimes I would fall short here and there, but then when you have someone like you already know you are actually that person. You can do anything. And actually, not just because I love you or I have that bias. No, it's because you see the person. We tend to see others clearer than we do see ourselves.
Unless it's some ex-boyfriend.
Not see them. That's why we're here. It's gonna remind you that please, whatever you think you're seeing, you're not seeing. It's just bad news. But I love this. Tell us what you want us to talk about, what you relate to, what you want to see more of. We are very open to talk about anything woman. Honestly, there is everything to learn from this woman. I'm here just
always beyond those years. That's what we tell.
So we always say wise beyond our years, but honestly, I see you and I see a woman that is rocking it in a career, that is married for ages, that is taking care of her health, that has a side hustle, that is being an actress, being a main character in a movie, and always trying new hobbies. I once was just learning how to play piano, and she comes in like, what's up? I'm like, what is happening? Before, she's like, oh, you're doing such a great job. And I was like, where? In her eyes, I was. And then she's like, yeah, I just had it 9 years. Like, back then, like,
Previous life.
so
Many lives.
so many lives you lived in, so many things we can learn. I just want to set the standard for every girl out there that is watching us that unless you have a girl like this, a woman like this that is supporting you,
Supporting so much.
do not call it a friend. Like, do not, like, just, we have to learn that. It's like Sex and the City, they say, like, that we are the real soulmates. We help each other. We just are able to connect to each other to a deeper level, a higher level. And I just want to see every single woman succeed in this world. I honestly feel like we suffered enough. We still do. We still are not recognized the way we should be. Feminists, when people are like, yeah, I'm feminist, I believe men and women are equal. No, I don't. I believe women are better. So I'm a woman. I don't know what I am. So honestly, every human, of course, joking, maybe not. It's all about empowerment. I want you to come, like you said, with Al Khoya, watch us every week, and you feel like you are in a better mood. You can go and achieve your dreams. I want this to be the same thing for you. Like an emotional hug, like a really, like we said, a really long voice note from your best friends, because that's how we see you. We are as open with you as we are with each other. So it's a safe space. I really hope that you learned something from today, because I know time is the most valuable thing we have.
Thank you for spending it with us.
Yes, honestly, thank you for choosing to spend it with us, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.
I want like a hug.
It sounds like a hug, right? Let's hug for you.